Okay, so everyone, welcome back to our Mixing Cultures podcast.
This story is just really sad, so I don't think we should waste any time and we should just get into the story.
It's sad for me. I was very sad.
Exactly. So let's bring this to the beginning of the story. What were you doing on your break from work that you had planned for a while?
So, like I mentioned in the previous episode, I had gone on my Queenstown holiday, which is only for 2 days, 2 nights and 3 days. So, after I come back, I was mentally preparing myself because the Tuesday of the week after, I was getting my wisdom teeth pulled out. So, I had gone to the dentist before my trip. And
Yeah.
so I have all 4 wisdom teeth, 2 top, 2 bottom. But the ones on the 2 top haven't come out since I don't know how many, since I was born, maybe it's been there, but they haven't come out. The one on my bottom left is completely out, but it's very nice and straight. And
which is good.
The one on my bottom right is a mutant because it's laying down 90 degrees and it was pushing against my molar. So it has a mind of its own, and I wouldn't have pulled it out, but it was pushing and it was hurting.
Yeah, so if it's pushing on your molars, then you kind of need to get it out.
And so it wouldn't hurt every day, but the moment I'm a little bit stressed or I'm not feeling well and work is like being stressful something, it hurts straight away.
Yeah.
So had a consultation with my dentist and he's like, okay, I think we should pull it out. But because it's on its side pushing and it's covered by my gums, he's going to need to like make an incision and break it into pieces to take it out.
Yeah, which makes sense.
So I was like, okay, cool. And then he offered me, so we can do just the local anesthesia on that jawline there, or we can do, what is it called? Happy gas?
I think laughing gas.
Laughing gas. Yeah. And I didn't feel the need to go with laughing gas mode because, to be fair, I don't really trust myself for what I'm going to say. Yeah, like
what are you going to spill?
Yeah, so I'm like, local anesthesia is fine. And then the earliest time he could do is the week after I got back from my holiday. So I was like, okie dokes. So Tuesday rolls around, 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm very scared. I'm very nervous. And I go to the dentist. So he's like, it's okay. Everything will be fine. You'll be fine. So he puts 3 bams of local anesthesia. Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
And the needle doesn't hurt as much as I thought it was going to be. So I was like, okay, cool. It should be fine. And so the whole time during my surgery was okay. I felt like it was okay, you know?
Yeah, because the surgery itself doesn't take a long time.
Yeah. It took maybe 20-minute max, 30-minute max. It didn't take longer. So my whole right side was droopy, and I looked like a weirdo when I left the thing because I was still under anesthesia. So he's just like, take painkillers and ibuprofen, and then I was like, and then he's like, eat soft foods. So I was like, okay. So after I got home, I straight away lie down on my couch because I am a patient. Yeah. And I was waiting for the anesthesia to somewhat wear off so I can swallow my medicine. Because my side was so droopy, and when they numb your jaw, it numbs that side of your tongue as well. Yeah. So I don't know, like, where my lips tongue too. Is. Yeah.
It's such a weird feeling.
So I don't know where my tongue is exactly. It's just kind of there inside my mouth. Sometimes I'll catch it coming out, but then I, like, push it back in because I don't know where it's going because I can't feel it. Yeah. So for, like, the good 2 hours, I was like just trying to lie down still and keep my tongue in one place and not let it spill out was what I was doing.
I told Sophia when I got my wisdom tooth out, the funniest thing to do is try to smile and take a picture of yourself because one side of your face doesn't
One
move.
side's smiling and the other side's drooping. So after about an hour and a half in, I was like, so the jaw area of the anesthesia starts to wear off, and then it's just like your chin and your lip part left. because
Mm-hmm.
that's the last part that the anesthesia wears off of. So I took my medication and he told me to ice it, so I'm like icing it, right?
Yeah.
First night is fine. The second day morning is also fine. But second day night, I am waking up every hour because the pain is so much I cannot even turn my head
Yeah,
because it
because it was
hurts
worse
so
than
much.
the first day when you actually got
It
the
was worse
incision.
than the first night, which it shouldn't be.
Yeah.
So the next day, so the second night I was already crying the whole night.
Mm-hmm.
So the third day morning, I told Harley, like, this is not right. Like, so he calls the dentist again and they get me inside. And so the moment I walk into the dentist and sit down in the chair, I'm already crying. Because walking jiggles my chin
It hurts.
and it hurts and I can't even explain it. And it hurts
No,
so
like tooth
much.
pain is so painful.
Yeah, and then when the dentist sees me, he's already like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. And he's like
Because
this
what people don't know is
elderly.
probably the swelling of your face was more than when you got your surgery done.
Yeah, it's more than when I got my surgery because it was filled with fluids and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Because apparently, so what the dentist said I got a post-surgery infection.
And so the thing is, where Sophia got her teeth extracted and where I got my teeth extracted, after the procedure, they don't give you antibiotics. They just give you
Even though
painkillers.
they decided to cut my gum open, they didn't feel the need to give me antibiotics.
Yeah, they literally just give you painkillers and then tell you to, like use like salt water or mouthwash, and that's it.
Yeah, and like ice it.
Yeah.
So I'm crying and crying and crying, and then I can see that he feels so bad for me. So
Mm-hmm.
he gives me like 6 different kinds of medication to try to like calm it down.
Yeah.
So I take that for like 2 days, and it looks like it's getting better.
let me just tell you, she can't open her mouth, and she has to take 6 pills with water, and she can't like fit all of them at once. She has to take one at a time. So every time she takes her medication, she's like full of water.
I'm like so full because I drank so much water. And one of the pills that they gave me is like those floating pills, and I can't take floating pills because every time I try to swallow, I only swallow the water and not the pill. So I'm like double the full amount, you know?
Yeah.
And she's laughing at me the whole time because I'm looking like half a pineapple on the half the side of my face.
Oh, no, her face was like if you shoved a tennis ball in your jaw. That's how bad it was.
Yeah, so half of my face looks like half a pineapple, right? So 2 days later, okay, this is the weird part because 2 days later, I go back. The dentist is like, okay, it looks like the swelling's going down. Like, he tried to, like, take out some of the fluid, and then he's like, okay, it looks fine. Just keep taking your antibiotics and you'll be fine, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's 8 a.m. And then I go home and
A few moments later.
Yeah, exactly. A few hours later, it swells like a pineapple, like a freaking pineapple. And then Harley calls the dentist again. He's like, yo, the swelling is getting worse. And she's like crying on the couch. So he makes me come back at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And then him and the other doctor looks at me again. And then they're like, okay, like, so we have a specialist in the hospital. We're going to send you to the emergency room. And I was like... And then the crazy part is, I was supposed to go back to work the next day.
Oh my god, yes! I forgot about that.
Yeah, so I was supposed to go back to work the next day. So I go to the emergency room at like 6 o'clock in the evening. And I'm there for an hour and a half because the doctor that's supposed to see me is in surgery, right?
Yeah.
So I can't be like, hurry your surgery up. No, I'm just sitting there.
Can you just close the person up?
I'm sitting there holding my chin because I cannot move.
Yeah.
And then, okay, this part's kind of disgusting. So I won't explain it.
So trigger warning, it's kind of weird.
So I won't explain it crazy in detail, but I felt like the swelling is getting really hard. because it's filling up with fluids, right?
And
Inside
it's not, it
where
has
it's
no way to
infected.
come out.
And it's no way to come out because my gums had already closed up. But
Yeah.
so I had taken some paracetamol.
Oh, I'm gonna vomit already.
For painkillers, right? And it was hurting and hurting and hurting. And then suddenly I feel something burst.
Oh!
So I run to like the bathroom and then like I like spit everything out, right? And then surprisingly, it does not hurt anymore because the entire fluid
You released
got
all the
empty.
tension.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
all the pressure got released. So now I'm like, oh my God, I think I can like not die and I'll be okay, you know?
Oh.
And then so
Yeah.
after it burst, the doctor saw me and then she like felt it and she's like, okay. So she gave me more like antibiotics. Like I took so much medicine. And then
but she probably gave you more doses to go out further.
Yeah, and then she also injected, like IV injected me some antibiotics as well.
Mm-hmm.
So for this one little tooth that came out, I took like a week's worth of medicine, like 6 different types of medication, and I had an IV antibiotics injected into my body, like 2 fluids.
Yeah, you had
like,
a drip.
I had like no, it wasn't a drip. It was one of those where the nurse just puts the IV on my arm. And then she
shot it in?
She just shot it in, and then she gets another tube and she shots it in again. She puts 2 doses of, I don't know what.
You got freaking X-Men injection.
into my body, and it feels so cold when it goes in.
Yeah, it does.
And then thank God I put it on my left arm too, and not my right arm.
Mm-hmm.
So like, it feels so cold going in, and I'm just like, okay. And then...
Yeah, because when you get, like, general anesthesia, when it goes in, your arm feels very cold.
Yeah, it feels really cold. And then the doctor brings me to, like, this room where she kind of opens so where the doctor split open my gum, there's some that wasn't closed all the way. So she opens it a little bit, gets, is it saline water?
Yeah, saline.
Yeah, saline, and then she tries to flush out the inside to see if there's any more fluids that need to come out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then she asked me to come back tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. So,
okay.
How much? Okay, I went to the hospital like 3 times, and it's like, I'm starting to get confused. Okay.
You're MVP.
So the next day, oh my God, give me strength. Okay, so I go back to the dentist. And the specialist looks at me, and then he's like, yeah, there's still some fluid in there. We're going to need to cut open your gums and get a suction and just suction everything in there. And then we're going to put a tube and insert it in your gum there until, like, where your chin is for 2 days. And I was like, sorry, what? And then he's like, yeah, because we need to get all of that fluid out if you want it to heal, you know?
Yeah.
And mind you, they have to put me under local anesthesia again.
Yeah.
But because I have an infection, the local anesthesia doesn't really work.
Yeah, it's not going up to its full potential.
Yeah. So when they like cut open my gum, I couldn't feel it, right? Mm-hmm. But when they're like inserting like saline in there to like get everything out and like suctioning, I can feel every single thing in my chin because it just doesn't work until then.
It probably didn't numb. It only numbed the surface and didn't go down.
Yeah. And then so they get this silicone tube, and oh my God, it gives me goosebumps just thinking about it because I'm already like, I can feel the pain because when they insert the tube in, so they insert it from the gum and it goes down to like where my bone is for the chin, right? Like my jawline. And because the anesthesia is not working, she's tearing my tissue and I can feel every single tissue that's being teared.
I can't even imagine how painful that is.
And I cried there. Like the whole, like the moment she started putting the tube in, I cried. And the doctor's like, I'm so sorry. The anesthesia won't work completely because you have like
They didn't offer you the laughing gas then?
No.
That's stupid on their part.
I don't know. At that point, my brain was shut down. Like, I wasn't thinking at all. And then she's like, "You're so brave for letting us do this. I know it hurts like
It's like, I
crazy."
didn't have a choice, woman.
And it hurt so much. Like, I was
Yeah.
crying when I was crying the whole time. I was crying on the drive home. Like, and I couldn't even cry loudly. I just had to let the tears
Because
fall
you can't move your
silently.
jaw.
Because the moment I try to open my jaw or something, the silicone pokes at my
Yeah.
skin, and it's like a sharp pain. So I can't even cry.
You just
Tears are
gotta...
just streaming down my eyes, and I'm just crying on the inside in my heart, just not vocally.
That's such a weird way to put it.
I know. I'm crying on the inside in my tears, but not vocally because I
Oh my
can't express
god.
it. So
You probably look
even,
like you were just shrugging all day.
yeah. And mind you, I was living in my bed for 2 weeks and I haven't had any solid food for 2 weeks.
And remember, you had to go, technically you had to go back to work the
Yeah,
next
and then the
day.
doctor's like, no. You have to stay home till the next week. Like, you can't go to work with a tube in your mouth. So,
Because especially you have to talk.
yeah, because I work where I have to talk 8 hours a day. I'm on my feet. And even now, my infection isn't completely gone. It's like a small little node near my jawline.
It's to the point where your body can get rid of it on
Yeah,
its
so
own
like I
now.
don't need to take any antibiotics or anything, so it's fine. But then like it's still not 100% better. This is like a tough one here, man. It's a very, very strong infection.
And I feel like your job was kind of being a dick about it too.
I know. Like I'm pretty sad, you know. So
Yeah.
I can't even sleep on that side because every time I lie down on that side, it pokes up my tube, and then the tube either pokes down into my jaw or it pokes up into my gum and my teeth. So I'm just like praying to God like I don't move in my
And
sleep.
remember, you had to flush out the tubing.
Yeah, so they gave me a bottle of saline and like a injector with like a metal tip. So she told me to.
Injector?
Is it not an injector? What is it called?
Syringe?
Okay, sure, syringe.
Injector, very nice.
With the metal tip, and she told me to bend the tip slightly, and then I had to get a big spoon, put it against my cheek, pry my mouth open because I can't open my mouth wide. I had to fill the syringe with saline water, had to find the silicone tube, point it at the tube, flush it out myself, and give myself pain.
Yeah.
On both my cheek and on the tube. So I did that for 2 days, right? Oh my god, I could write a whole book on just this 2 weeks experience.
I know. So the thing is, before Sophia got her wisdom tooth out, I told her about like my experience. So I made sure, make sure you have food that, are soft. Sophia was a genius because
yes, I am.
when I got my wisdom tooth out, like here, and I was living on my own, the only thing I ate was congee and fruit smoothies that were like bottled, right? Because you can't use straws either because that motion also tears at your stitches.
Yeah. It hurts. You can't put your mouth together like that anyways.
Exactly.
It hurts.
So like that's all I ate because I'm like, well, if I think of soft food, that's the thing I'm going to think about is congee and fruit smoothies. So like, Sophia, what did you have planned to eat? What did you eat?
So I was very smart because me and Sally had gotten braces before, and we lived off of congee, and I'm like, I'm Asian, so I eat congee, but what do Caucasian people eat? So I Googled it, and they're like, oh, you can have Jello, mashed potatoes, pudding, and I was like, I'm mind blown.
Yeah, I only ate congee and fruit smoothies.
The first day I had congee, and then I was like, oh my god, I might die from eating congee. So that's why I Google searched it, and I found like mashed potatoes and like Jello, and I was like,
I didn't even think about mashed potatoes and Jello.
God. But then, mind you, it's not like that fluffy mashed potato. I had to put so much water. It was water, basically. Okay. So, for my tube in my mouth, 2 days later, I went back. Okay, so I thought taking it out would be okay. So the doctor decided to flush it one more time after she took out the tube. So after she took out the tube, she filled it up with saline again, but except I did not have any anesthesia. So I was like,
This lady just
it,
loves pain.
Because it hurts, right?
That lady just loves pain.
She was trying, and she was like trying her best, I know. And like, so in the end, like, I got the tube out, and she's like, so it's at that point where it's not creating any more of like that fluid. So
yeah,
she just said to finish the antibiotics that she gave me, and then after, my body should be able to heal it on its own.
Yeah, I think you just needed the antibiotics in the beginning to help it get under control.
Yeah.
Because once it started going down, it didn't have a flare up.
Yeah. But then,
yeah,
when I went home, I still cried because it hurt.
Yeah. If you injected any orifice in your body with freaking salt water, yeah.
So that was the reason why we did not record a good few episodes.
Yeah, she couldn't talk.
I couldn't talk. Actually, until the day a day before I went to work, I still couldn't open my mouth fully.
Yeah, like you couldn't really do much.
Yeah, so, and I had just started to eat like semi-solid food. So by the time I went to work, I was hungry like every 2 hours, because at home I would be eating like 2 spoons of Jello, and then like an hour later I'd eat like 1 spoon of mashed potato. That's what I was doing. And then when I went to work, I only get 1 break for like my whole 8-hour shift, right? So I was like, ooh, I'm hungry. I'm gonna die, you know? So that's what happened. And that's why I wasn't recording. And that's why my vacation was not a vacation.
Yeah, like, if it was, like, easy breezy, she should have been fine within, like, the first 3-4 days.
Yeah, but it was not easy breezy. It was the opposite of easy breezy.
Yeah.
Well,
so that's what Sophia had to go through.
Probably during this wisdom teeth time, I cried more than I had actually cried that whole year, so...
You're getting all your crying
tears.
and done.
Yeah, I had no tears left in my body by the time I finished this wisdom teeth.
Isn't that an Ariana Grande song?
I think
got no tears left to cry. Yeah.
I think so. But that's my life. How fun. So now I'm traumatized, and I can probably never take out another wisdom tooth again.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Your first experience was so bad.
Yeah, and when the doctor saw me, he's like, I've been doing this work for 30 years, and you're the second patient that I've seen my entire career. And I was like, thank you, I'm so special.
That makes sense. You're special.
Yeah, I'm so special. In good ways and bad, apparently. So, that is my life. I still have a little hard knob on my jaw.
Yeah.
It's just not as bad, and I can actually open my mouth somewhat, like most of the way, 80%.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still not 100% better, because when I'm at work and I keep speaking all day, it does tend to get a bit warm because I keep agitating it by moving it.
Yeah.
So, well, at least I sleep good.
Yeah, like, as long as you can rest, it's fine.
Yeah, because during that 2 weeks, the maximum amount of sleep I got is probably 5 hours a day. I couldn't sleep more. And I was awake.
You would text me at, like, my time, like, 1 p.m.
Yeah, I'd be up since, like, 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. And then, then before that, I'd be waking up, like, every hour and a half when the painkillers wore off.
Yeah.
And then I'd, like, cry and look at my clock and just wait till the next, like, 2 hours so I can take another painkiller. Like, I was literally timing myself to take these painkillers, because I'd take the painkiller and half an hour later, I'd sleep for, like, another hour, and then I'd wake up and I'd cry and I'd wait another 2 hours for my painkiller, and I'd take it again. And I couldn't even take 2 tablets at a time, because then I'd have to wait 6 hours. Yeah. So I just took 1 at a time, and I just had to take it every 4 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah. So For people out there getting out their wisdom teeth, it doesn't happen like me. I'm like a super special case.
She's special. Yours won't be this bad. Yours will probably be more like mine.
Yeah, but mine was just a special circumstance.
It was intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But thank you everyone for listening to my surgery story.
The next episode will be more happy than this.
Yeah, it won't be gloomy like this one, but go to our YouTube channel and subscribe, like our videos that we've posted so far. Check out Spotify and Apple Podcasts for our episodes. Podcast. And follow our Instagram at Mixing Cultures Podcast for updates and little soundbite clips previewing our episodes.
Yes, and I hope 2021 is treating you well.
So
unlike me, where I'm in clothes and snow.
Well, everyone, have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.